All right, good morning. We're going to call the pardon board to order. Today is Monday, May 18th, 2026. The time is 9:04 a.m. Would you call the roll, please?
Renata,
Here.
Prater,
Here.
Tillis,
Here.
Stapleton,
Here.
Freeman.
Here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you. So we do have three members who are at the anchor location here at Baton Rouge DOC headquarters. We do have two members participating by Zoom. It's Mr. Prater and Mr. Freeman. So our first item of business this morning is review and approval of the minutes from our Monday, May 11th meeting. Those are included in your packet. Are there any corrections? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move that they have the exception.
We have a motion by Mr. Tillis, second by Mrs. Stapleton. Is there any objection? Hearing none, those minutes are approved. And we will allow public comment on requests before any action item that is acted upon today. So our next agenda item is consideration of applications for clemency or pardon. Our first case this morning is at David Wade Correctional Center. And we'd like to ask the staff there at Wade, please introduce yourself for the record.
Good morning, Michelle Dozot Warden. And
Danny Henshaw classification.
Elizabeth Savage Colonel.
Commissioner Edwin Major.
Thank you. And we have before us Mr. Walker.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, just stand by a moment. We have some folks who are here to recognize those who are there and on Zoom.
Okay.
So we'll let everybody get situated. So the way this will work, Mr. Walker, is I'm going to read some identifying information into the record. I'm going to ask you to confirm whether it is accurate or not. Your case this morning has been assigned to Mr. Prater. You should see him on your screen. So after I preliminary verification, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Walker, and he'll recognize your guest there and ask you some questions and hear from the warden, and then we'll hear from everybody that wants to speak. So just stand by.
Coming.
Are you ready for me, Madam Chairman?
So we're still waiting. Here we go. We're about ready to get started.
Okay.
Mr. Walker, you're here. Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
Richard Walker, 701-732.
All right, Mr. Walker, you're here today seeking a commutation of your sentence. You were sentenced in Jackson Parish, November 2015 for 3 counts of forcible rape, and you received a 40-year sentence. Is that information correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Prater?
Mr. Walker, I hope you're doing okay today.
Yes, sir. How are you, Sheriff?
I'm fine. I'm doing good. I've got a couple of folks that want to speak, and of course, one's on Zoom, and 2 are there with you. They're in support of you, and they'll be
Yes, sir.
speaking in a moment. But then first off, want to hear. Tell me what you did, why you're there, and what you've done since you've been there that is going to make us of the opinion that you deserve to be released early. And then I want to
Yes,
hear
sir.
from the warden about what kind of fellow you've been.
Yes, sir. I am here for 3 counts of forcible rape. I've got a statement I would like to read if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure. It's addressed to the parole board, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir. That'd be fine.
Okay, I want to begin by first thanking the board for this opportunity to come before you. First and foremost, I want to say that prison has not only saved my life, but it's also changed my life beyond words, because I now have freedom internally that I never would have thought possible. Upon my sentence, victims' impact statements were made, and those statements have stuck with me in the forefront of my mind since day one. Through victims' awareness, I truly began to grasp the full measure of just how many lives I affected in the trauma that I inflicted. I want to use this opportunity to show the board that I'm no longer the man that I once was. I want everyone affected, as well as the board, to know that I take full responsibility and accountability for my actions, because I know firsthand how much of an impact this has had, not only on their lives, but their mental health as well. While I know that words without action are absolutely meaningless, I pray that through me taking this step, you can see the intent of my heart. Prison has changed my life, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because without prison, I would not be free, whether physically or emotionally. This experience has changed my life, and I've wanted to express this for a while now. I know that y'all see this a lot, but I no longer deny what I did. I take responsibility, because in order to bring closure for everybody, including myself, a man has to take responsibility for his actions. And from day one, I have taken class after class. Even though I don't get good time, I still took classes, not for the fact of a parole board, but to better myself. And I hope that shows.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that statement. That checks a lot of boxes, and we'll have some more questions in a little bit. Warden,
Yes,
would
sir.
you tell us what kind of fellow Richard had been since he's been there?
Yes, sir. He's been here since 2015, the end of 2015. He hasn't had any rule violation reports. He's not a behavioral problem in any way since he's been here. He's very active in our chapel services. He handles a lot of the music with our outside guests, and does a lot of that internally for the inmate population as well. I've also seen him assist in mentoring some of the younger and challenged individuals, that are a little bit more vulnerable to other scenarios. And so he's kind of been able to help them just make sure that they're not getting in anything they shouldn't be, and letting staff know if they need some assistance. So he's no behavioral problem. He is an active leader and member in our chapel services. He's also completed the entire sex offender treatment program, living in balance, victim awareness, and I think every class that we've offered here. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate that, Warden. We value your input. Okay. Let's hear from, I think your father, your sister, and your mother are going to be speaking this morning. Your father and your sister are there. Let's get your mother out of the way from the Zoom, and then we'll move back to the room there. So Miss Debbie Russ is the mother of Richard Walker. Would you talk to us on Zoom, please?
Yeah, if I can get this here camera to work right. Hey, everybody.
Good morning.
How are things going?
Give your statement.
Your statement.
Your statement. His
We
behalf.
can hear you fine.
Okay, I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to say.
Well, you're supposed to say whatever's on your heart that's going to cause us to want to feel like that he's done the appropriate steps to be released early.
Okay. I have been amazed at the change in this young man's life since he's been walking the journey that he's walked. I've seen a tremendous change in him. I've seen him go from a young man, or a young boy actually, to a man, making decisions that have not been very easy. And he's been very quick to share things with me that he didn't have to share. but he's trying to stay honest, and he's trying to do things that need to be done. And not only that, but I've also seen a tremendous change in his heart and his walk with the Lord. And that has meant a lot to me. I do know that there are things in life that can't be changed and can't be reconciled. But you know, God is a God of forgiveness, and a God of mercy, and a God of grace. And I've seen a tremendous change in him. I've seen him go through things and endure things that have happened to him in the past. He's had to work through and walk through, as we as a family have done, and loved and supported him. And I'm encouraged to go with him from here to see what God has in store for him.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for those words. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll hear now. We'll move back to headquarters there at David Wade, to the room there. And we'll hear from Mr. James Walker, the father, and then we'll hear some from Alicia Walker, the sister. So, Mr. Walker, would you talk to us, please?
Yes, I am James Walker, and I'll refer to him as Daniel because that's what I've called him since he was born.
Okay.
So Daniel and I didn't have the opportunity to bond in his young adult or pre-adult years. His mother and I divorced, and we didn't have a closeness that I look back and say I wish I had as a father. Then my career took me far away to New Jersey when he reached young adulthood. It was soon after that that Daniel was in prison. That's when we began to bond, and he started communicating with me as a dad, and recognizing that some of the things that I had done in my life were not easy, but I had accomplished those, and he seemed to want to learn, how do you work through that? What I've seen is a young man who has acknowledged some really, really bad choices and some bad behaviors. I did not know that he had a serious alcohol and drug pre-prison. And I've learned that he's acknowledged that and knows that that is something that affected his behavior, his thought process, and kept him from moving forward. What I've seen in the years that he's been here is he has begun to understand what it is to be an adult, what it is to take responsibility, what it is to set goals. And he's taken the work that he's done here with the chapel and the things that he's been allowed to participate in seriously like a career, and use those things to learn how to, hopefully someday when he gets out of here, build a life. He also has talked with me and acknowledged that building a life outside of here will be very different than it would have been had he never been here. That's going to be a challenge for him, but he understands that to do that, he's going to have to accept that his life here and his record is going to limit some of his abilities. And I think he's prepared to do that. We've talked about goals and housing and financial responsibilities. And Daniel was never a financially responsible person. I think his mother can probably attest to that as well. But one of the things that he did that really has stuck with me is when the COVID release money was given to inmates, he kept a small portion of that to take care of things without asking me for money. And he had the prison send me a check to put that aside so that someday when he got out, he had at least a start to put things together. And he's never asked for that money for anything. And he set that aside. So he's got a goal. And he seems to have at least the basics of a plan, and they've taught him so much about being a responsible and regimented person, and how to build a schedule and set some goals. And I believe that he can take that outside of these walls and figure out how to navigate as a responsible and a person who's accepted his behavior has changed his life. Honestly, I have to say, it hurts that I didn't get to be a part of what you guys created in my son, but I'm so proud that he stepped up and became that person.
Good. Very, very good words from a father. We appreciate that. Let's talk to the sister now. Miss Alicia Walker, would you talk to us and tell us what's on your mind?
Well, I've seen a lot of change in Daniel. I'm sorry. I'm emotional. I've
Okay.
seen a lot of growth in him, with his thought processes and his, outlook on life. I agree with him that prison did save his life. I'm proud of the man that he has become, and I will always be there to encourage him and support him. I would, he's done a lot. He's taken every advantage that he can in taking classes and becoming an integral part of the chapel here. And he's grown a lot. And I'm just proud that he took advantage and became a different man and a better man because the decisions that he made led him here. And I don't think he would be here without having been sent to prison.
Finish or?
All right. Well, thank you, ma'am. Appreciate those words from your sister. And now before we circle back around and talk to you, Mr. Richard Walker, I'd like to ask, could we have an executive session to discuss some other matters in this case, and then we'll come back. Could I have a motion?
Yes, sir.
We have a motion by Mrs. Stapleton. Can you call the roll, please?
Renassa,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Prater,
Yes.
Tillis,
Yes.
State.
Yes. So we'll be in executive session for a few moments to discuss confidential matters. Stand by. We'll be right back. We're ready for regular session without objection. It's 9:37. We'll be returning to regular session. Mr. Prater. Mr. Prater, we're back in regular session.
Okay. All right, Madam Chairman, I am somewhat handicapped here, and so I would turn it back over to you to conclude. I have no other questions of anyone, no other procedural matters, so I'd make a motion. We go back into regular session.
All right, yes, sir. Without objection, we are in regular session. So are there any other questions for Mr. Walker? I don't see any questions by any board members. So Mr. Prater, I think we're ready for your vote.
So, Mr. Walker, I appreciate the things you said in your interview, and I appreciate the growth that you've experienced and the ownership of the crime, the victim awareness that you've displayed. However, I think that because you took a plea bargain of 3 of 10 counts that were offered, you took pled guilty to 3 of the 10 counts, and because you got a 40-year sentence, I don't think that you've served enough time in 10 years or 12 years of that 40-year sentence to be up for parole or allowed out on parole with the type of crime that you committed. I want to wish you well, keep going and doing like you're doing, but at this time, my personal vote is that your parole be denied.
Mr. Freeman?
I concur with Mr. Prater, the heinous nature of the crimes and only serving 12 years. I hope he keeps doing what he's doing, but in my opinion, it's not time for him to be out. So my vote is to deny.
Mr. Gillis?
Due to strong law enforcement and victim opposition, my vote's going to be to deny.
Mrs. State.
Okay, Mr. Walker, according to the numerous victims that you had, child victims, you're a child sexual predator. And I consider you a continued threat to society. Your pattern of behavior was that you were a trusted individual, which that's what falls in line with a child sexual predator. You've only served about a quarter of your plea bargain, which it was a heinous crime. So because of the heinous nature of the crime, not enough time served, law enforcement and victim opposition, my vote today is to deny.
All right, Mr. Walker, you received 4 votes to deny your application for clemency. So that's the outcome of today's proceedings. I do appreciate the positive remarks by Warden Dozak and the work that you've done with the chapel and the work you've done on yourself. Keep that up. But today, your application for clemency is denied, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, good morning. The pardon board is now at the Louisiana Correctional Institute for Women. Today's Monday, May 18th, 2026. Good morning, Warden. Would you and your staff introduce yourselves for the record? Y'all are on mute still.
Good morning. Can you hear us? Kristen Thomas, Warden.
Luke Range, Deputy Warden.
Afnan Gaddy, ARDC Supervisor. Camilla Hudson, ARDC Supervisor.
Lady Dorsey.
Chaplain
Lynette Ewell.
Thank you. And we have before us Ms. Tabitha James.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Morning. Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
Tabitha James, 503-699.
And there with you, well, the chaplain introduced herself, Lynette Ula. We'll call on you to speak at the time. We'd like to hear from you. We also have participants by Zoom. First, Ms. James, I will read some identifying information into the record and ask you to confirm if it's accurate. And then I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Prater, who you'll see on Zoom. He's a board member participating virtually today. Your case was assigned to him, so I'll turn it over to him once we verify the information.
Yeah.
So again, for the record, state your name and DOC number.
Tabitha James, 503-699.
Okay, Ms. James, and you're here seeking a commutation of your sentence. You were sentenced in Ouachita Parish. You have a sentencing day, December 2005, for conspiracy to commit simple robbery and attempted simple robbery. For that, you received a 2-year and 6-month sentence on each count. That was suspended. You were placed on 5 years probation. You have another sentencing date, November of 2012, second-degree cruelty to a juvenile as a habitual offender, and you're currently serving a 20-year sentence on that. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Prater?
Ms. James, are you doing okay today?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we got to talk about some unpleasant things this morning, but sometimes we have to talk about the unpleasant before we get to the more pleasant. And so what we're going to need you to do today before we talk to anybody else, I want to talk to you about what you did to get you where you are, and then what you have done since to hopefully get you in a better place to where you can be released, and released early is what you're asking for today. You're asking to be paroled. And so tell us what you did and what you've done since you've been incarcerated, and then I want to hear from the warden and see what the warden has to say about your activities down there. So go ahead, Ms. James, if you wouldn't address the board and tell us, and we can all hear what you're saying.
Thank you for your time and consideration in this matter, first and foremost. I'm before you today because I was selfish and completely incompetent as a mother. Where I was supposed to protect, I caused harm. Where I was given to nurture and nourish, I was selfish and negligent. And when it was given to me to comfort and soothe, I ultimately abandoned my kids. And for that, I failed. I failed as a mother, and I made irrational decisions. I was unfit, and the decisions and actions I made ultimately led to me being incarcerated and other consequences.
Okay. And what have you done since you've been there that makes us believe that what kind of courses have you taken, and what have you learned?
I've taken advantage of every opportunity, first by getting my GED, graduating college with a bachelor's, and participating in any opportunity, any programs, any faith-based. But I want to, if I could, if it's okay, I would like to go back and go into more detail of why I was incarcerated, why I'm here.
me being selfish and inconsiderate and just prideful, when I was told to take her to the hospital, I wouldn't do it because I was too prideful. I didn't want to lose her. And my actions, I could have killed her. And I felt so guilty for so long, and nobody could tell me anything. So when I being here, after reflection and evaluation and looking at my actions, like what made me make those decisions, and I did everything I could to avoid taking her. I didn't want to lose my kids to the system. I just couldn't see me being without them, but I was only thinking about myself. And so after reflection and evaluation, I said, if I got another opportunity, I don't want to go out the way I came in. If I get a second chance at motherhood, how am I going to be better? How am I going to show my love and give them the things that they needed? Because in me during this time, I was thinking about me and losing them and not what they stood to lose because of what I did, because of my actions, because of the decisions I made. They had to grow up without me. They had to grow up as motherless children, and I want them to know my love. And so I gave myself to service. I learned how to just give myself away. So while I did get my GED and college, it was the faith-based programs, spoken word, Bible studies, ministry service. Those would be the things that I've done through this time to help me to improve and better myself, so that if given the opportunity, when I get the opportunity, that I could not only be a better person, but first and foremost, just a better mother.
Warden, is that all you had to say there? Ms. James?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if we have some other questions, we'll come back to you. The rest of the board will have a chance to ask questions. Warden, tell us about this lady and how's she been since you've known?
Well, Miss James just transferred to LCIW this past October, so we haven't had her too long. I will say, since she's been here, she has not had any write-ups. We've not had any issues with her. I know she had mentioned that she had received her bachelor's degree while she was up in Tallulah, I believe it was. And then since she's been here, she has been more involved with some of our faith-based classes and organizations. So she's been spending her time doing that. But like I said, we've only had her since October, but have had no issues.
All right, thank you, Warden. We appreciate that. All right, well, let's move on to someone that wants to speak on your behalf, and that is the chaplain, I think, Lynette Eula, who is the chaplain there at LCIW. So is Lynette, she's there in the room, correct?
Yes, I'm here.
Lynette, would you talk to us about what you've got to say?
Yes, I've had the opportunity of getting to know Miss Tabitha James from being the chaplain at the LTCW unit in Tallulah, and from immediate our interactions, she's always been a go-getter. She's always been one that has a mindset on being transformed. And as long as I've known her to really be remorseful for why she is where she is. But given the opportunity at a second chance, I believe that she has learned from her mistakes. And I do feel that her crime definitely does not define her character. She is a loving and caring person and mother. And I have gathered that hurt people, so she imputed the hurt that was imputed towards her, but she didn't let that stop her from being a better person. And I feel that she deserves another chance.
Chaplain, and you have known her for how long?
It's been over a year.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for those words. And now, Madam Chairman, I would like to move for an executive session again to continue discussing matters of this case.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Can you call the roll?
Renassa.
Yes.
Freeman.
Yes.
Prater.
Yes.
Tillis.
Here.
State.
Yes. So we'll be in executive session for a few moments to discuss confidential matters. Stand by.
Is it okay to come in or? Okay. Hey. Hi. Well done, Michelle.
All right. We'll resume, regular session without objection. We're back in regular session. It's 10:04. Mr. Prater?
Ms. James, let me ask you something. When actually did you get sentenced?
I was sentenced in 2012.
2012. And what was your sentence at that time?
20 years.
Okay. All right. Okay, Madam Chairman, that's all the questions I have. I'll turn them over to someone else.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah,
Mr. Tillis?
Ms. James. What are some of the classes that you've taken impacted you the most?
I'm gonna say I've recently just finished pre-seminary, but I'm gonna choose pre-seminary simply because of my sentence. Usually with most facilities I'm in, I'm not available, classes aren't available to me. So I've taken domestic violence actually as a class. Everything else has been studying academically, and I've just given myself to service and ministry and work within the facilities. But the most impact to me would be, I would have to say pre-seminary and anything faith-based. It helped with my transformation. Had it not been for that, I wouldn't be the woman I am today. Like, I don't think the same, like I'm a completely different person. I give that all credit to, the classes is good and I appreciate it. I can be productive. I've gotten tools, I've gotten education that I probably would have never got had it not been for this time. So I did not waste the time and it wasn't wasted on me, but I definitely got to say the faith base. So I'm going to go with pre-seminary.
How many kids do you have?
I have two. I have a son.
How do you feel about them now?
I love them with everything I have. Only God do I love more than them. I love them so much, and I want them to know this love. My actions didn't show it then, but I love them with everything I got, and I'm gonna spend the rest of my life being a woman that they can be proud of.
Okay, thank you so much.
Do you have any contact with your children, either of your children?
Yes, ma'am. Well, my son is struggling right now, and I'm praying for him. I'm giving him back to God, but he's gonna be all right. My daughter, Nene, she is so strong, and we've been talking over the years. Through my family, just restoring it and communicating, and we talk a lot. She sends me pictures, we text. I haven't talked to her here lately. She might have lost her phone. I'm not sure. It's been a few weeks since probably I think my grandma's funeral, but we have a relationship, so we're making amends, and we're reconciled. But
it's good to hear. What before you committed this crime, what was your level of education?
9th.
You went
going
to
into 10th grade.
And you've been in jail 13 years, something like that?
15.
14, 15?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, it's 14 years of a 20-year sentence, correct?
Yes, ma'am. 15 years. November past year made 15 years.
Oh, really? Okay. Got that. So 3/4 of your sentence.
Yes, ma'am.
So the crime against the child was a heinous crime. I'm sure we can agree on that, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And forgiveness is a very important thing for the victim if they're able to do it, because sometimes that's a healing process for them. Um, how old were you when you committed that crime?
20,
I guess
20, 20, 21. I just
When-
turned 21.
Okay, so you were 21 years old. And like you said, people told you to take her to the hospital, but you didn't.
Yeah, when it initially, right after
Yeah.
that, is it okay if can I talk about it? Like, is that all right?
Yeah, in fact, that's what really should happen.
Okay, thank you. When I picked her up from school that day, she was already sick. And I tried to call my mom and wanted my mama to get her because I don't know what to do. I need you to take care of her for me. But my mama said no, she had to work. She was tired and she already had my son. But I didn't want to take her home because I had to go back to work. I was tired. I didn't know what to do. So my mama, she told me, get her some children's Tylenol, get her some Motrin and keep her hydrated, stomach virus or something like that. And she was like, but you need to come pick up your son. And I was like, well, I can't deal with a 2-year-old and a sick child at the same time. And I'm tired. Like I can't, more than that, I don't even have the gas to make it. Like I'm not going to be able to do it. So anyway, all through the rest of that evening day, I would give her the medicine as directed, call my mom on and off. But the more I would give her water, I wish I knew then what I know now. She would just throw it back up. And she wouldn't keep nothing down. She was just, every time if she ate a little bit of something, she would throw up. If she drank, but she was so thirsty all the time. All the time. But God, if I knew then what I know now, I would have done everything different. I tried to get her to eat first. This place, I lived there for probably like 2 weeks. I probably slept there a few times. Wherever my mom is, or whoever has my kids, that's where I lay my head. Financially, I keep a roof, I pay bills, but I was just never there. I always relied on my older sisters or my mama to help me, to do things for me. This particular house, I just got like 2 weeks prior, and it was small. It had a window unit for AC, but there was no heating, and it was cold. And it had a little electric stove. I used the electric stove for heating. One of the aisles worked but didn't work, I guess. But what I did was the pot that I made French fries, and the grease I left in it, I put it on in the middle aisle because I couldn't turn the stove off or else it would be cold. But eventually, over the course of the night, as she would get sick, I stopped giving her water. So it was my fault, the accident in the first place, because I should have never, even though she was getting sick, but I was getting tired of getting up, keep cleaning up, seemed like everything I do just make it worse. And so she slept on top of me, like her head was on my stomach. And when I woke up, she was gone. When I found her, she was in the bathroom trying to get water because I wouldn't give her no more. And because she was so dehydrated, she was thirsty, she needed that water, she wanted it. And I turned the bathroom light off so she wouldn't go in it no more because it would be dark. And we went back to sleep. I gave her some more water. It over through the night, and she's back on top of me and went back to sleep. And now I woke up to just a crash noise and just her screaming. And I ran down, and I could see the pot that I had on the stove kind of tilted, and it's coming over, and she got grease all over. And I panicked. I ran in the bathroom, I turned the water on, I grabbed her. I was trying to take her clothes off and just cool. I meant to put her in the water, but I didn't stop. I didn't think. I didn't assess the situation. I just reacted. And the whole time she's screaming until finally she told me it was hot. So I hurry up. It happened so fast. And I get her out. And when I turn the light on and I look at her, in that instant, I don't know what happened. And I don't know what I was thinking. or what I done, but every time I touched my baby and her skin came off, I didn't know what to do. I kept it and put it in the Bible, like God make it go away, like help me. So I called my mama. I called my mama and told her what happened and let her talk to her because, and that's another mistake I made. I didn't know then. She couldn't feel no pain because of nerve damage. So what I thought I was helping, I was only making it worse. And I was able to tell my mom the truth, like I probably did make the situation worse because I didn't think. I just reacted and this water was hot. And mama, it's like it's bad, but she's not in pain no more. Like she's cool. And my mom was like, you got to take her to the hospital. I said, no, that was my pride. And I was so selfish because I did not want them to take her. I thought I could do it. You got to take her. I said, no, I can't. If I take her, they're going to take her. Like, she's okay. So my mama asked to speak to her. And she's talking to my mama, telling her what happened. This, again, it's my fault because if I never turned that bathroom light off, she would have never tried to. I guess she was bracing herself. When she was coming down, she had to reach in this apartment. It's so small. There's the sink and it's right beside it. It's connected. There's no space. So if she reached out, she would, but it's my fault. And I only made matters worse. And so I'm telling my mom, I was like, Mom, they're gonna take her. I just closed the CPS case probably like a month before. So she's like, well, you stay up all night. Of course, I didn't go to sleep no more that night. And the first thing in the morning, the only thing I did right in this entire thing was on the way to bring her to my mama was give my baby a Powerade for the electrolytes because she was so thirsty and she was so dehydrated and she needed it. And I didn't even know. I did that out of ignorance. I didn't even know that I was even being helpful. I didn't know what I was doing. And I tried. The ace bandage I put on her arm with the Neosporin, that didn't help. It made it worse. Because then I learned something. She was suffering. Throughout the case, I learned that I was creating something called stocking her. She's so small. She's 5. I'm small, so she's really small. And it wasn't until I did everything, I had every reason, every excuse that she would tell me, you gotta take her, you gotta take her. And I'm thinking, no, it's gonna be fine, I'm gonna lose her. But I never thought that I would lose her to this world. But my actions and my selfishness and my pride, I could kill her.
Let me ask you something real quick. You said you had just closed a CPS case a month before.
Yes,
It was
ma'am.
about the same child?
Actually, it was a matter of like both of them. There was an incident involving her dad, and my son was there too. And her dad's sister, which is her aunt, called both the police and CPS on me.
Okay.
I
read, the reason I'm asking you about that is the district attorney's office made a statement, and part of the statement was the subject continually abused this child prior to this arrest. She was offered a plea and rejected it. She has served a little over half, now it's 3/4. Okay. The child will suffer for life and she will be required to serve, she should be required to serve the entire plea bargain. So I wanted to mention that. And look, I hear you told the truth about the incident because it was a very bad thing. So that was, I'm glad you got to tell it. And that's all I needed to hear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, I don't see any other questions. I'll ask Mr. Prater for his vote.
It was difficult to read, as you can imagine. And then it makes it more difficult to listen to you because I hear the pain that you have and the remorse that you have and how you've grown in your education and realize what you did was so, pardon me for this word, but it's so stupid. But you basically said the same thing. I just called it a little different word than that. And you're not denying that. That you should have done differently. You should have done better. You should have known better. You served 15 out of 20 years. And after having listened to everything, including all of the entirety of the hearing, and extensively gone over your record and seen what you've done, I never thought I'd say this. My vote is to grant your parole because of the remorse and growth that you've had, and the fact that you've served 15 out of 20 years. And I think that, of course, that's just my vote, and I'll see what others have to say.
Yeah, let me clarify that. So, Mr. Prater, so your vote would be to grant her immediate parole eligibility?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Freeman?
Okay, my vote is gonna be the same, to grant immediate parole eligibility. As Mr. Prater said, this is a very tough one, but I know she's plenty remorseful. So
Thank you.
Mr. Tillis?
I concur with my colleagues. My vote is to grant immediate parole, and I hope that you are sincere. I believe you are. I believe you're remorseful, and I hope you and your kids make it.
Thank you.
Ms. Stapleton?
I agree. Reading the case, and of course, what you said happened was so heinous that my vote today was going to be to deny, but you were so truthful, and I do believe so very remorseful. And if this can help the victim in any way, be able to move forward with her life, that's my main concern. And maybe it would. So my vote today also is to grant immediate parole eligibility.
Thank you.
Ms. James, I want to congratulate you on your educational achievements. I can see you've grown a lot. My vote today would also be the same, to make the recommendation that you be granted immediate parole eligibility. So we're going to make that recommendation on your behalf.
Thank you so much.
We're to ask Warden, we talked a little bit about programming and her involvement in the faith-based programs. Is there any way she could get into now with this decision, parenting and victim awareness, some of those?
Yes, ma'am. We'll make sure she is.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here, your support.
I scheduled this to 12:30.
All right, good morning. Mr. Bruner,
Yes, good morning.
would you introduce yourself, sir? Tell us your name and your current mailing address.
My name is Robert Bruner. My address is 600 Bruner Road, Strawberry Plains, Tennessee, 37871.
Sir, and you have your lawyer is here with us today. Would you introduce yourself for the record?
Good morning, Robert Lancaster here on behalf of Robert.
All right, thank you, sir. We also have some folks who are on Zoom here in support. We have Marcia who's there with you. Is that right?
That is correct. Marcia's with me.
And then we have Larry Belt and Todd Bunch, and all of those will be speaking on your behalf. First, Mr. Bruner, I'm going to just read some identifying information into the record. Your case has been assigned to Mrs. Stapleton to my left. So after I asked you to confirm that information, I'm going to turn it over to her. She'll take the lead on the questions, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So, Mr. Bruner, you are here today seeking a pardon with restoration of firearms. You were sentenced in the Calcasieu Parish in May of 1997. Possession of, with intent to distribute Schedule I marijuana. You received a 5-year sentence. That was suspended and you were placed on 5 years probation. Is that information correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Stapleton.
Okay, Mr. Bruner, good morning.
Good morning.
And tell us a little bit about what happened that day and what was going on.
Okay, prior to my arrest in 1994, I'd been a user of marijuana since the age of 15. So just kind of went through my young adult life without a lot of direction, just kind of wandering, working and just aimlessly no direction. So leading up to before that, I went to 10-year high school reunion. A lot of people my age had begin to accomplish some things I had not, and kind of disheartening a little bit for myself that I could see that I wasn't going anywhere. So I'd been married at the time prior to this, and went through a divorce, and through doing the daily use of marijuana and other recreational drugs, I decided that I might want to try to make a little extra money, and I traveled to Houston, Texas, and we picked up marijuana there and drove it back, and we were caught in Calcasieu Parish, and that was in October 29th, 1994.
Okay, so that was 1994 that all that happened, that you were
I was
charged?
arrested. Yes, I was arrested in 1994
Okay,
at the age of 29.
29.
Yeah.
What was your thought pattern after that?
Well, in all honesty, the day that I was arrested, it felt like a big relief. I can still to this day remember the sun going down, and I was on the side of Interstate 10 in handcuffs, and I felt like that life had was over, and that's kind of a surreal image that I can see even today. But following that, I continued to use drugs, smoking marijuana for probably another 3 months. And my life really began to change in January and February of 1995. I began to attend NA meetings on my own. And I just moved away from all the people that I had been running with. And I didn't move physically, but I just mentally knew that I needed to disengage myself from that lifestyle. So from January 25th, I think was my actual clean date that I actually joined in on Narcotics Anonymous, and I participated in that for 6 years, regularly, daily, in and out. And whenever I went to trial in May of 1997, I had 2.5 years clean at that time.
Well, you did all the right things. You did all the right things after, and we do hear that sometimes. It's a stark wake up call. And you know, nowadays they use the expression, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. But my grandma's days, it was birds of a feather flock together. So when you said you changed that environment, that was of friendships, and then you did the NA and you got clean, did all the right things. So you've been clean ever since 95, is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, it was a life-changing incident for me. My life went in a totally different trajectory. Just from that point on, my life changed. Even the 3 months that I continued to play around with some of my friends and stuff, I didn't have the money at the time to participate. And that was probably the first wake-up call. Was I no longer had the friends, because I no longer had the party material. So it changed, and that was a wake-up call for me. And a lot of those friends that I was involved with have since died. There was another gentleman that was with me. He's since deceased. And I'm just thankful for all the opportunities I've been granted throughout my adult life. My grandparents, I got to see them grow old, pass away. And whenever you're in a lifestyle of addiction, you don't realize how things like that are really important.
Well said. All right, so you're asking today for a pardon with firearms, am I correct?
You are correct.
Okay, so has the lack of a pardon caused you any problems, and then why do you need a firearm?
Yes. Yeah, the life without a pardon. Throughout my career, I'm a machinist, And I've had several opportunities that I couldn't take advantage of. One being here in East Tennessee, we have the Oak Ridge National Laboratory. Several of my friends that we were machinists at different places. They've got jobs there, and I was never able to apply there for the security breach. So that was one of the big things. And then in later years, I tried to apply to get jobs at larger corporations, and I never was able to because you put down that you're a felon, and that kind of was a black eye to me at that point. So that kind of led me into, I worked at a machine shop. I managed that shop for 10 years, and I was running the guy's shop, and these small machine shops a lot of times don't have very good benefits, and I was beginning to get on up in age at 50 years old, no health care, no retirement, anything like that. I couldn't get a job at any of the larger corporations. So I decided to go out and start my own machine shop business. We've been in business since November of 2017, and we've been very blessed. We do a lot of work for large corporations, and one of them being that just moved here into East Tennessee 2 years ago, and they've become my #1 customer at this point. And they've offered me an opportunity to do rework on firearms, and I have to be able to get a FFL license to be able to do that. Once I can do work for them, make fixturing, or I can work on single individual parts. But once those parts are assembled into a firearm and serialized, at that point, it becomes a firearm. And they've offered quite a bit of work for us. So that's been awesome.
Well, that explains it. You know, it's a barrier for your job opportunities and continued improvement in life. My daddy was a first-class machinist, so yay. For me, you did and the firearm. You just want a firearm? Is that what it is? Or hunting or anything like protection?
For me, more than anything, I don't hunt. I've never been a hunter. But just to be able to get the FFL license, I have to be able to have a firearm, and they require that for me to be able to move forward with this company into a realm. And they're moving. Eventually, their whole operation will be in East Tennessee, and I was the first machine shop to get invited into their facility. So we do a lot of work for them, and I hate to not be able to do that. We've just done a major expansion at our shop. I started out, I put my house on the line and started my business in 1,500 square feet behind my house. And we've went 7 times that, and that building's almost complete. And I look to expand probably 2 people within the end of the year. And that could be as many as 4 more next year if we're able to get contract work from this company and move forward.
Well, you're a true success story. Does anybody else have any questions? Hear from his fiance? Yes, I'd like to hear from your fiance, please.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey.
My name is Marsha Bowler. As you know, I'm Robert's fiance. We've known each other approximately 15 years. Kind of a backstory. I've been a trauma nurse for almost 25 years. I grew up same town as Robert, but I never knew him. Our families knew each other, but we had not met. I moved back home about 15 years ago to take care of my grandparents. And that's when I met Mr. Bruner. His mom rented me a home on their farm. It was kind of a sudden move. So she's like, we got an empty house on the farm. You can live there until you get settled. And that's how I met Robert. So I had 2 young kids at that time, and he had custody of his 2 young nieces. So they kind of became friends, and that's kind of 15 years later, they've all grown up. They call each other brother and sister, and, we've just had a great family, for the past 15 years. I've been involved with his business. He started the business. I've helped run the business. I do a lot of their book work and deliveries and things like that. So I've been involved basically every day, helping support the business. Go ahead.
Okay, all right, now you have also a business associate, Larry Belt. Would you like to speak, sir?
Yes, I would.
Okay,
Good morning.
morning.
I'm Larry Belt, and I am a retired corporate vice president, I'll say. That's the last title I had. I am now 84 years old, and I volunteer with SCORE. And SCORE is an advisory council that is sponsored by the SBA. And it's chartered in such a way to where every major metropolitan area in the country have volunteers that work with small businesses. And our objective is to take a small business or an idea and move that into companies that support employment and produce products of quality that is needed in the local and national markets. As an advisor, I first met Robert in 2018, and that'll be about 8 years ago now. And Robert came with the experience, as he outlined to you, had an idea that he wanted to start a machine shop, did so, and by this time, his machine shop has grown to a company that was in 1,500 square feet, now in about 10,000. The important part is this: Robert is a man of integrity. He enjoys what he's doing. He works very hard. He's a community supporter and has initiated programs for his employees that include retirement benefits and health benefits. So he has shared his success with others throughout anything that he has done for the last 8 years. I would highly recommend him as a person. He's a believer, is very solid, dependable, and one that, from a SCORE point of view, we would call a success story. We see about out of every 10 potential candidates to develop new businesses, 2 or 3 really make it. And he is one that excels, obviously. So highly recommended, honest person, needs this condition that he's asked you to allow so that he and the business can continue to grow. We've had many new industries move into the East Tennessee area, and he is one of the small businesses that will be very supportive of that progress. Any questions?
No, sir. No, sir. I agree. He is a success story. Thank you, Mr. Belt.
Okay.
And so next we would have another friend, Todd Bunch. Would you like to speak?
Yes, good morning. So I'm Todd Bunch, Vice President of Consumer Care Products. Basically, we make cosmetic brushes, oral care brushes, and medical brushes. That's how I met Robert 18 years ago when he was working at the other machine shop. So we started working on a lot of specialized equipment to make them more flexible, improve efficiencies. You had to really think outside of the box because a lot of these equipment, all of them are European made. So we started working together on those, and some of the successes we had, I'm responsible for multiple locations. So we started traveling together to take some of the lessons learned at one facility to the others. And in those travels, spent a lot of time, we really began to get very close personally as well. And he was talking about the benefits and at his age, and he was really the brains behind the operation. So that's when I started saying, well, I think I'd go into business, and you should really consider that because the way he was able to do the projects, think outside the box, and really develop relationships and people trust him. So I actually put in some money into his startup. My young son, while he was going to school, worked for Robert. That's around the time that Robert actually told me about the situation that we're all discussing today. And I didn't believe it. I thought he was joking because I'd been working with him for years and years and years, and I'd never seen that person or anything. So it was really hard for me to even believe that he had done that and that had happened. But I think that speaks to change itself, because I'd known him for many years and didn't know that this had happened until he started going to business. But we've developed a friendship where we're together every July the 4th. My family, I trust him. And one key point is the things that made him step out on his own. Now he's providing for his own people in the way of 401k benefits and how he gives back. So I recommend it. Any questions?
I don't have any. I mean, you spoke very well about the man, and so has everyone else. Mr. Lancaster, is there something you'd like to say?
Just a few things, and I'll be brief because I think Mr. Bruner and his supporters covered most things. A few things I just want to mention that haven't been mentioned. Speak to Mr. Bruner. He shortly after all of this happened, he really stepped up for his family. His two great nieces, who were 2 and 3 years old at the time, had been removed from their mother because of her drug addiction. And he stepped up and parented them. And if you see today, they'll talk about their dad, and they're talking about Mr. Bruner. Oh, another thing that wasn't mentioned today that I think is important, as we heard, Mr. Bruner is really invested in his business and the community from that business perspective. He's also invested in that community as a leader. Just recently, there was a retirement of the Jefferson County Commission office, and people requested that he work and assume that role, which he's actually being seated on the county commission tonight at their 6 p.m. meeting, which is why he is zooming in with you rather than being here. Usually coming to be here, but I think that not only speaks to his engagement in the community, but the community's recognition of the value that he brings to that community. Another thing, just to kind of point out a uniqueness about this case, 2 things. One, in my very first conversation with Mr. Bruner, it struck me that he turned his life around before his conviction, before he actually had to do the 90 days of probation. And he did that very, very quickly, and he's been consistent with it throughout. So I think that really demonstrates for him that what he was doing at that time was really outside of his character, because it was a real slap to him when he was arrested. But the other thing specific to requests for firearms, and I know that many people come before this board requesting restoration of firearms. And he has suffered personally from that collateral consequence of his conviction. But the business that he is in, the work that he is doing with certain industries that are moving to that area, that he has the opportunity to expand. The collateral consequence of his conviction in some ways sort of impacts the larger community as well, because he's not able to do that work. With a major manufacturer wanting to move from Massachusetts into the area, that would require him to work on serialized firearms. So those things were not mentioned, and I just wanted to point it out. If you have any other questions about this case, I'm happy to answer. Sorry, one final thing, and this is my last one. Mr. Bruner's record was expunged, and during that process, the state, the district attorney, has the ability to oppose that expungement. It's my understanding that there was no opposition at that time to that expungement as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Are there any other questions? I don't see any. I think we're ready to vote. Mrs. Stapleton.
Mr. Bruner, I'm very happy to say that I'm going to suggest to the governor, a full pardon with restoration of firearms, and there's good reasons for it. You know, without it, it's going to be a roadblock to you in the future, and then the future, your future employees. So you are a true success story, and I wish you every continued success.
Mr. Craig.
With that, my vote is to recommend to the governor a full pardon with restoration of firearms.
Mr. Freeman.
My vote is to grant pardon with restoration of firearms. Recommendation to the governor.
Mr. Tillis.
My vote is the same as Mr. Freeman.
And my vote also, Mr. Bruner, is to make the recommendation for a full pardon with restoration of firearms. So we'll make that recommendation on your behalf. We wish you well. Good luck.
Thank you very much. That's a great.
All right, we are back in session, and we have before us Courtney Cormier. Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you, for the record, ma'am, introduce yourself, tell us your name and your current mailing address?
Courtney Cormier, 1205 Stooge Street, Raleigh, Louisiana, 70526.
All right, thank you. And you are here today seeking a pardon with restoration of firearms. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were sentenced in April 2018 in Acadia Parish for illegal possession of stolen things between $500 and $1,000. You received a 2-year sentence that was suspended. You were placed on 1 year of active probation. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me just
the probation, she had let me off probation in like 3 days.
early. Okay.
So I didn't do a year.
Okay. Well, I want to recognize you have a friend, Miss Desiree Desiree
Yes, ma'am.
with you, and we'll call on her at the appropriate time for her comments. Now, we do have two board members, if you look behind you, that are on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
So that's Mr. Freeman in the upper left, Mr. Prater in the lower right. So your case, though, this morning has been assigned to Mrs. Stapleton, seated to my left. I'm going to turn it over to her.
Okay, good morning, Ms.
Good
Cormier.
morning.
Will you tell me what happened that caused, you to be, charged with these crimes and what the crimes were, please?
Yes, ma'am. I had a laptop a friend gave me. I figured it was stolen, but I didn't know that was like a thing really to get in trouble for. And I delivered it to somebody and for money. And he got caught wanting it. And I guess when they asked him where he got it from, he said me. And they came and arrested me for burglary. But then it got dropped down to the possession of stolen items. It has items, but I don't know what the other items are. I just had the laptop.
Well, was it that the laptop was the only thing they could prove? And then there were other things that you said that they couldn't prove?
Yeah, they did, because they didn't find any items on me.
But
And
were
when I
there
went to
other
trial,
things?
I didn't ask to see the list or anything, because I was too nervous about going back to jail.
Okay, so you're saying the laptop was it, there wasn't other things?
No, ma'am.
And you knew it was stolen
Yes, ma'am.
and you pawned it?
Well, I sold it to somebody.
And you sold it to
And
someone?
he pawned it.
And then and that led to you?
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
where he got it from. Okay, you have opposition from the sheriff, the chief of police, and the AG's office, by the way.
What's that?
Opposition for you to get a pardon.
Oh,
Yeah. So the charge was like 9 years ago, correct?
2018.
So 6 years ago, not too long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so how long were you on probation or anything?
Maybe a week.
Just a week on probation?
And then the probation officer took me on probation.
Okay, all right, does anyone else have any questions?
Any questions by board members?
This was taken, the computer was taken during home invasion, correct?
He's asking me.
Was it taken during a home invasion?
I don't know what it means. No, one of my friends stole it and I delivered it for her for money to somebody else.
Well, how was it stolen? And
She stole it.
you talking about Milliken?
That was the mom's house. It was her daughter.
Okay, I don't know, it's hard to, where did the rest of the things go? The jewelry and the cash?
Sir, the jewelry.
Where did the
I have no idea. And I'm being honest.
So you just delivered a stolen computer to somebody?
Yes,
and
sir.
that's your total involvement in it?
Yes, sir.
And what have you been arrested for prior to that and after that?
I was arrested one other time a few years before that for theft at Walmart.
For what?
Theft at Walmart.
Okay, a theft at Walmart. And what about the dog charges and all of that business?
Oh, my dogs. My dog, I couldn't keep him to stay in the house. He would bust through the windows, knock the air conditioner out the walls. So I just kept getting charges and then I just got rid of them.
Yeah, I think if I had a dog busting through a window, I'd get rid of it too. So that's the first wise thing I've heard. Okay, that's all I got.
Mr. Freeman, any
I
questions?
just, yeah, I have one, Miss Renata. Were you on drugs at the time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what have you done about your drug problem?
I haven't done drugs in 5 years.
Okay, and how did you kick that habit?
I just stopped doing it.
Okay. So no AA or nothing like that?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you. I have nothing further, Ms. Renata.
Okay, thank you. So let me read you something that's in the report that we're getting. This is why we're so confused, and I want you to comment on it. So who is Milligan again?
She was the owner of the home that was robbed.
And who is Peterman? Brian Peterman.
My boyfriend.
Okay, this says Peterman told Milligan that his girlfriend, Courtney Cormier, was the one who broke into the residence while he sat in a vehicle with a baby. Milligan told the sheriff's office her laptop was taken in the burglary and that it was at Michael Chasson's house. And he talks about how it was pawned. When asked how he received the laptop, Chasson said Peterman and Cormier came to his house and asked if he wanted to buy it. So comment on that report.
Brian was very abusive. And I think I was taking a bath and he wanted me to do something and I wouldn't do it. And I remember he slapped me in my face and said, if you don't do this, I'm gonna tell that you robbed that house. And then that's what he did. And Michael, what did you ask about Michael?
Well, he was the one that had the laptop.
We brought him the laptop.
Yeah, okay. All right.
But then Brian got arrested after me. I don't know if that matters any.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Any other questions? So let's hear from Miss Victoria. What would you like us to know, ma'am?
Well, sorry to go.
Yes, please.
I've known Courtney for approximately a year. We met during IOP, the intensive outpatient program for Compass Health. We have talked almost every day. She did great at Compass. It didn't have anything to do with her drug problem, but as far as mental illness, it really helped her, hasn't helped me. She's been a good person, a good mother, since she stopped the drugs. And I thoroughly believe, in what she has said, that she was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And anyway, that's how I feel.
Okay. Well, thank you. We appreciate it. All right. Ms. Courtney, you want to step back up?
I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
You said you only did 2 weeks probation.
If not, that's what it felt like. It wasn't, I don't even think it was a month. It was like a week or two. Because the probation officer just said, I believe you, and she took me off probation.
Okay, thank you.
Are you currently employed?
No, ma'am, that's what I was gonna say next. This is very important to me. I cannot find a job. My house is needs to be demolished. I can't get into the housing authority.
Because of the felony?
Yes, ma'am. My CNA license was taken.
So you're asking for a pardon with restoration of firearms. Why you want the gun?
Oh, I don't care about a gun. I don't care about that.
Okay.
I just checked it.
Okay. All right, any other questions? I think we're ready to vote. Mrs. Stapleton.
Ms. Cormier, it's been, I mean, your drug of choice was met, from what I read here. And so you're 5 years sober and clean.
Yes, ma'am.
But you're not attending any programs to help you out with that, and it's cost you dearly. So for me, it's too soon for me to vote, yes for a pardon. So today I'm gonna have to deny.
Mr. Prater.
I also am gonna vote to deny this request. I don't see any stability in her life. I don't see any real admission for wrongdoing. She's blaming this incident on everything in her life that's disrupted, and she doesn't have custody of her kids. That certainly, I don't believe it's part of what we're dealing with today. I just would like to see some stability, some long-term drug treatment, and some more time before we start dropping and releasing and pardon charges. My vote is to recommend we deny.
Mr. Freeman.
My vote is to grant without firearms.
Mr. Tillis.
I didn't hear.
He voted to grant with pardon without firearms.
Okay, my vote also is to grant without firearms.
All right, Ms. Cormier, you didn't get the vote you needed today. My vote today would be it's too soon, but it doesn't matter. You needed 4 votes to grant, to make the recommendation for a grant. You didn't get that today. So today your application's been denied. Luck to you. All right, the pardon board is now at Raymond Laborde Correctional Center. Today is Monday, May 18th. Would the staff there at the facility please introduce yourself for the record?
Brent Thompson, Warden. I'm Deputy Warden Benjamin Maddox.
Melissa
Records. Diane Williams, RDC Manager, Classification.
Faith Arnett,
All right, thank you. And we have before us, is this Mr. Drake?
This is Toliver Nicholas.
You need Drake?
Which one do you
Yeah,
get?
we're trying to get his attorney. We haven't been able to get him yet, so we'd like to do Drake before if we could. If you just decide.
All right, no problem. We're getting them in. We work. Well, what's your job? One. Go on. Oh, okay.
Mr. Drake, good morning.
Morning.
I guess, yeah, we're still morning. Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
My name is Stanley Drake, 451159.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Drake, you're here today seeking a commutation of your sentence. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were sentenced in February 2002 in Tangipahoa Parish for a forcible rape conviction. You received a 40-year sentence. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And your case this morning has been assigned to Mr. Freeman. You'll see him on your screen. We have two members of our board that are participating virtually, and that's Mr. Freeman, who's on the left-hand side of the screen, and Mr. Prater, who's on the right-hand side. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Freeman. He's going to take the lead. Mr. Freeman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Notsa. Okay, Mr. Drake, tell me, what did you do to get yourself put in prison? And what have you done since you've been there to make us believe that you wouldn't be a threat if we let you go?
Well, I've been drinking, and I've been drinking too much and got too far out of hand, and I raped my daughter.
Okay. All right. And your daughter had a baby over this incident? Did she get pregnant?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me what you've done since you've been in there.
Since I've been here,
Mm-hmm.
well, first I got into a risk management class and learned a lot from it, and trying to rehabilitate myself and having conversation with other people about myself, and they've been doing it by themselves, so about what happened. And they tell me about what problem they've been having. I've been having problems. So, and from there, I got into where I've been into this, just being a dome all it, working all the time, and it took me a while for me to get in school, because I had to beg somebody to help me to get in school.
Correct.
So once I got in school, I wanted to try to get into AA, NA, and I done that. And I'm into class right now, so I'm trying to redo myself, and to try to get back out to my family so I can try to get myself together and get help.
Gotcha. Okay. Did you finish all 4 phases of your sex offender classes?
I finished it.
Okay, well, he's completed them. On my list. It doesn't show risk management.
The rich man, yeah.
He completed it in 2011. He completed.
2011. Okay, but it's not on his screen. Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, and Warden, what do you have to say about Mr. Drake?
Well, the biggest thing I suggest that he definitely need to complete is the victim impact program. He definitely needs to complete that.
I agree with that. Okay, have you had any problems with him, Warden?
Excuse me?
Have you had any trouble out of him?
No, sir. He's been doing pretty well. He only had one disciplinary report in his record. That was in 2010 for Rule 5. That's the only report he ever had.
Okay. All right. The people, I'm gonna get back to you, Mr. Drake. I got several more questions. Maybe Stanley. I got several more questions for you. Let's hear from General Jones, your brother. You're on mute, Mr. Jones.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay, tell us what you want to know to know about your brother.
What I want, he's really a good person. Ever since I've known him, I've never known him. He helps people. He works on cars. He did addition on houses. My brother really is a good person, and I feel like he is ready for society again. And I asked, I plead the mercy on the court that y'all allow him to have a second chance, because we won't know if he's allowed a second chance if we don't give him a second chance. And I know my brother, and we talk all the time. And I thank y'all for hearing me.
Thank you. Okay, let's hear now from Miss Cassandra Hooker.
Yes, I'm his daughter.
Okay, Miss Cassandra, tell us what you want us to know about your dad.
Well, just like he said, he's always have been a very good person, always willing to help anybody, willing to do whatever it takes to help anybody. All he ever done was basically worked most of the time anyway. When I was little, always worked. And when it comes down to how old I am now, I'm 35, married, got 4 boys that's waiting and excited to meet their grandfather for the first time. And it's been a long time since I was 9, actually. I said 12 in my letter, but it's actually 9 years old, and it's been a long time. And I'm willing to take responsibility to do whatever it takes to make sure he get on track, to make sure he have a job. Well, we all are, to make sure, you know, he's gonna be well stabled and taken care of. Yes.
Good. Appreciate that.
You
okay,
welcome.
Miss Rose.
Yes.
You want to say something about your fiance?
I love him.
Okay.
I went back home.
Okay. All right. Y'all not married yet, right?
No.
No.
They're planning on to.
We're
We're gonna make sure that happens.
All right. Okay, well, thank you, Ms. Hooker. We're gonna get back and talk to Mr. Stanley a little bit again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Stanley. The charge was reduced, correct? Wasn't you originally charged with aggravated rape and you pled to forcible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you go to trial or this was a plea deal?
Well, I don't know if it was a trial or not because the way things went out, the judge has asked me how did I plead.
Mm-hmm.
I had to hesitate on that because I'm trying to figure out because there's nobody represent me since I've been there. I've been going back and forward to the mental health and back. And every time they got me, they sent me back to the courthouse. And after my, witness that I had, but he passed away, so I can't get into that. So, and after I got back to court and he wanted to sentence me, he said, how do you plead? I hesitated. And he kind of like had his voice just act like he was trying to threaten me or something, but and then he got your DA that was there.
Right.
And he told the judge, hold up a minute, let me talk to him. And he came and talked to me and asked me, he said, this is what I want you to do. I want you to plead guilty. And I'm gonna get you back in court. So 10 years later, when I went on and pleaded guilty and done what he asked me to do. And when I did go back to the courthouse, the judge no longer worked there because he said he was gonna retire. Then the DA, he's no longer there. He went somewhere. So I found out he got a job over there in Livingston Parish. So I was trying to figure out what are they trying to pull.
Gotcha. But you did so you ended up with a 40-year sentence. Okay. And how many years have you served in prison?
26.
26 out of 40. Okay. But you do admit that you did have sex with your daughter. Okay. All right. And beside the living in balance, have you had any drug or alcohol treatment?
Have I had any treatments? No, sir. I ain't had no treatments, but you know, I never had that in mind about alcohol, so that's over with. And I was just hoping that things would work out, that I'm gonna get all the help that I need to rehabilitate myself so I can get back in inside.
All right. And how about Walton? Is he receiving any mental health treatment? I've seen he was high in mental health. Is he taking any medication?
No, he is participating with NA and AA right now, but no mental health.
Okay, thank you. And because I saw where treatment had recommended that he get a mental health eval. Okay, how do you think your victim feels? Tell me a little bit about your victim.
The victim. Well, she was hurt. I was hurt. My family was hurt. And the only thing I want to say to her, that I apologize, that I hurted her.
Okay. All right. Well, I have no further questions. Let's see if my colleagues have any questions.
Any questions?
I'm gonna have questions. I noticed on your account of the event, you used the word, well, she was 12 years old. That's been left out. And that we were drinking we had sex. Because one thing led to another, and then she began gaining weight, and then people discovered that she was pregnant. Do you still believe it was a we situation?
No, ma'am, I can't remember that part, but I know that I had too much and I did have sex with my daughter.
Okay. Well, as far as like, victim awareness, which you have not had that class or anything. I had in my office one time a pregnant 12-year-old by her father crying. So I saw some years ago the personal pain of that. And you said she was hurt, you were hurt. Your hurt, I'm sure you probably realize, is not near as much as what your daughter suffered because you were a trusted individual in her life. And that's generally how these things happen. So you served about, you got what, 2/3 of your sentence has been served and it was a plea bargain?
She said that you served how many years? 26 years?
26 years.
Yeah, a 40-year sentence though. So
Yes.
about 2/3 of.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, I just, you have law enforcement opposition, by the way. The DA, he has a blanket policy. And then the AG is opposed to it. I thought you should know that.
Mr. Drake, at the time the crime occurred, you had a weapon?
No, ma'am.
You didn't have a knife?
No, ma'am. I don't believe it. Yeah.
Why would the report say that you did?
She said.
Why the report said you did?
When was this?
Well, I don't guess it's relevant at this point. It's just part of the record, sir. I don't see any other questions. I do believe we are prepared to vote. Mr. Freeman? You're on mute.
Okay, I got it. Okay, Mr. Drake, yeah, you're getting up there in age. You got terrific family support, which I want to tell them you need to keep that. But at this time, I'm just not ready. My vote is going to be to deny, and I think I'll recommend that you need to get some victim classes. And if we can get him in inpatient substance abuse, he needs inpatient substance abuse, one of our long-term treatments. And then I would feel more at ease. But right now, I'm just not ready. So my vote is to deny.
Mr. Tillis?
I concur with Mr. Freeman. I think you need some more classes also. And yeah, well, my vote today is to deny.
Mrs. Stapleton?
My vote today is to deny. I believe that you should serve your full plea bargain. And but I do agree with Mr. Freeman that you do need to get into the programs that he said. I'd like to see that happen.
Mr. Prater? Nope, you're on mute.
I concur, sorry about that. I concur and to deny at the same reasons as stated by other board members, all of them.
Mr. Drake, my vote today also is to deny. It doesn't appear that you have any understanding of the impact you had on your victim. And so I agree with the warden's recommendation that you take advantage of program that could help you understand the impact on the victim. But today, sir, the vote is unanimous. Your application's been denied.
That's it, man.
All right, we have before us Mr. Christopher Griffith. Good morning, sir. I think you're still on mute.
Good morning.
There you are. Would you introduce yourself, sir? Tell us your name and mailing address.
Christopher Griffith, 26261 Pinecrest Drive, Denham Springs, Louisiana, 70726.
Okay, Mr. Griffith, and you see two of our board members are on your screen participating remotely. That's Mr. Pete Freeman in the upper left-hand corner of this, of my screen at least. In the bottom right-hand corner is Mr. Steve Prater. I'm going to read some identifying information, sir, and then I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Freeman, who's on your screen. Your case has been assigned to him. So you are here today, Mr. Griffith. You're seeking a pardon with restoration of firearms. You were sentenced in East Baton Rouge Parish. August of 2000, vehicular homicide was the conviction. You were sentenced to 6 years. All but one was suspended. You were placed on 5 years probation. However, that was revoked in April of 2007. Is that information correct, Mr. Griffith?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Freeman.
Okay, Mr. Griffin, tell us a little bit about the accident. I've read the report completely. Just tell me a little bit about what happened, and then I'll ask you some specific questions and ask why you're applying for this pardon and why you want your firearms rights.
Sure. July 31st, 1998. I was 19 years old. I had gone out that evening and I attended some parties at LSU. My girlfriend was going through Rush at the time. At those parties, you know, I personally had a couple of beers. Well, as I was driving home, I started to drive home around midnight. I was living with my parents. And I called my father before I left my girlfriend's house. And when I was going home, I got into a head-on collision with Mr. Stephen Underwood. At that time, we both went to the hospital and Stephen did not survive.
Okay, and so why are you wanting a pardon?
Well, I'd like to have the pardon because I'm the line of work that I'm in right now. I could be potentially traveling overseas into Europe. I'm into wind energy. I'm a supervisor in the wind energy sector of things. Currently on the Northeast coast, but the projects can span over into Europe as well. I don't know exactly in all of the countries that it could possibly span to, but I didn't want any hiccups potentially getting being able to travel around specifically for work.
Okay.
The firearms specifically, I do enjoy hunting. I am not allowed to use firearms at any, you know, obviously as a convicted felon, I'm not allowed to use firearms. So I strictly only bow hunt right now. I would like to have the firearms restored so that I may use firearms to hunt. But the main reason is for work related.
Yes, sir. Okay, let's talk about the accident a bit because I'm a little confused. So after y'all got in the wreck, did he start a field sobriety test that you passed?
No, sir. We went to the hospital. I went to the hospital directly. We both sustained injuries. Stephen sustained some pretty severe injuries. I sustained injuries that were nothing, of course, as severe as Stephen's. And at that point is when they drew the blood alcohol.
Okay, and what did it
was
register?
0.106.
0.106. Okay.
Yes, sir. At the time, I was 19. Obviously, I was underage.
Correct.
And so that.
Okay, well, that's good. That clears things up for me because it was real confusing about the blood test and everything else about the hospital. Okay, and tell me this: how do you think their family feels? I mean, how do you think Stephen's family feels?
I'm sure that they're devastated to this day, and I completely understand that.
Okay, so you realize you had a
Um,
terrific impact on their life.
Absolutely, 100%. You know, you know, one decision can permanently affect somebody, a whole slew of people's lives, without a doubt. Um, it was awful. You know,
Gotcha.
yeah, I can't
Oh,
imagine what they must continue to feel like.
right. Well, I do want to state for the record that the sheriff is unopposed, and we had a bunch of no comments. The victims are opposed. The father and the two brothers are opposed. And I also want to state that you did complete the Steve Hoyle program. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. Do you drink now or not?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I have no further questions. I'll turn it over to my colleagues.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
I've got a question. You had some stipulations, had you been on probation and you absconded. So that put you in jail. So I was gonna ask you, it said that if you had been on probation, you were gonna attend MAD impact panels. And they had 2,000 hours of community service. And the family wanted you, because they were able to pay for the funeral expenses, wanted you to send a $1,000 check every September of each year of supervision in memory of Stephen Underwood and refrain from all alcohol, which you say you have now. I see where you did pay Episcopal High $2,150. That would have been, had you been on probation, it would have been a $6,000 check. Seems like you've made a good salary, so I was going to ask you about that. And then it said to carry a photograph of Stephen Underwood in your wallet all the times for the duration that you were on probation. Did you do any of those things just simply out of, the understanding, like we say, of victim awareness, because these were the things that they wanted to have done? Other than 2,100, which you were on probation during that time, did you do any of the rest, carry his photograph or anything like that?
Yes, ma'am, I sure did. And I also did attend many of those MAD meetings and spoke on behalf of the situation that happened, and creating more situational awareness specifically to drinking and driving.
I'm really glad to hear that. I really am. Thank you so much. I know that's, victim awareness is difficult for the person that's caused the pain and the person that's received the pain. So I'm glad that you followed through with that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't see any other questions. I believe we're prepared to vote. Mr. Freeman?
Okay, Mr. Griffin, that was the only thing that held me up whatsoever, was that your probation got violated. But since that time, you've done excellent. I think you are remorseful. I think it did affect, you realize it affected your life as well as theirs. So my vote today is going to be to grant with firearms.
Mr. Tillis?
My vote also is to grant with firearms, and I hope that you, I see the remorsefulness in it, and hope you continue to do well.
Mrs. Stapleton?
Mr. Griffin, I agree. And the reason about the remorsefulness is not, you didn't just say it, you did the deeds. That's very difficult. So my vote today is going to be to grant with firearms also.
Mr. Prater?
Grant with firearms.
And I do agree, Mr. Griffith. Thanks for being so forthcoming with us today. A lot of people blame everything in the world, but you owned it. So thank you for that. So we're going to make, the vote is unanimous. We're going to make that recommendation to the governor on your behalf. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for, we were trying to get in touch with, well, first of all, Mr. Toliver, introduce yourself. Tell us your name and DOC number, please.
Name is Nicholas Toliver, 463679.
All right. And Mr. Toliver, we were trying to get in touch with, you have retained counsel, Mr. Wendell Rogers,
Yes, ma'am.
and he is not able to be here with us today. He's in court. And do you elect to proceed without your attorney, or we can continue this proceeding until he can be available?
I can proceed without my attorney, ma'am.
Okay. So let me just acknowledge, we have some folks here with us in Baton Rouge. We have your father, Mr. Joseph Cross, and your brother Joshua, who are here. Your dad will be speaking on your behalf, and on Zoom, you will see Mr. Patrick Young, who wants to speak on your behalf. On the screen also, you'll see two of our board members who are participating virtually. That's Mr. Steve Prater and Mr. Pete Freeman. First, I'm going to read some identifying information into the record, and then I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Prater because your case has been assigned to him. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Toliver, you are classified as a third felony offender. You were sentenced, you're seeking a commutation of your sentence. You were sentenced in Washington Parish in 2015 as a habitual offender for armed robbery and for an additional penalty because the armed robbery was with a firearm. You received a 65-year sentence. You do have a parole eligibility date, which is in June of 2033. Is that correct information?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Prater. You're on mute, Mr. Prater.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Toliver, how old are you now?
I'm 41.
Okay. And you are a third class offender, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you were convicted of armed robbery in 2015. You got a 65-year sentence, and that's for the armed robbery and habitual offender and armed robbery with a firearm, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what I'd like to hear from you before we talk to the warden there, I'd like to find out why did you get in the trouble that you're in? What did you do, and convince us that you are no longer going to be a danger to society and a habitual offender and a problem for law enforcement and the community?
Okay. First, I would like to thank God and the board for giving me this opportunity to speak. I first have to say that words cannot express the regret and the remorse that I feel. I will try to speak to you from my heart. I've made plenty of bad decisions. My whole life I made bad decisions. And that night was one of them. I want to apologize to my victim, Mr. Kenneth Paget. I should have never been there that night. I caused harm to him and to his family, and I apologize for that. I take full accountability for my actions that night. I was wrong, and I'm sorry. No one deserves to be treated that way. No one deserves to have a weapon pulled on them. No one deserves to have their items taken from them. Mentally, I was in a bad place, and I made bad decisions. And I hope he can forgive me. Since my incarceration, I have faced several hurdles. But I looked at myself and I knew I didn't like myself. I looked back on my past and I knew that wasn't the person that I wanted to be. So I made a conscious decision to start doing right. I knew that I gotta follow the laws. I have to follow rules, and I have to follow posted policies. I made a decision to change the friends, the people that I hung around with. I started hanging out with positive, successful, spiritual people. And things started to get better in my life. I took some self-help classes. One of them was nurturing and parenting. And I learned that, my parents, they're humans and we make mistakes. And that my parents, I forgave them. I had hurt, anger pent up from my childhood, and I rebelled. And I had to let that go. And nurturing and parenting helped me with that. Boys to Men was another program. And they teach you how to transform your mind. It deals with the mindset, and I needed that. I had a bad mind. I was a boy. I made childish decisions. I made decisions based off my emotions, and it always led to negative results. But Boys to Men taught me how to stop and think and make wise decisions, decisions for the best possible outcomes and situations. Now, education-wise, I'm college educated, and I'm trying to finish my bachelor's degree at this time. I got into the Made Men program, and it helps me to take my education and share it with others. But my favorite program would be JAP. JAP allows us to partner with the wardens, the staffs, and administration. We bring kids in from alternative schools and at-risk youth. And it's not like the Scare Straight program, we're not trying to scare them, but we're trying to educate them. This is what we're trying to do. So with that, we want them to know that actions have consequences. And when you do something, you could do something small, like riding around with your friends, or they love to fight. And you could hit someone and hurt them, and they fall and hit their head, and you could spend the rest of your life in prison. It's been so impactful for me dealing with these kids. And that I'm learning that my testimony, my life, can help change lives. This is what I've been doing. Now, if you grant me today a time commutation, and I have a chance once again at freedom, I have my father, he's in the real estate development, I have a job. I'm gonna go straight into employment where I will be overseeing rent property, the basic maintenance and upkeep. I'm a certified welder, and I work hard. I made some bad decisions, and for that, I apologize. I would like to apologize to my family. I caused them so much hurt and so much pain, but I'm thankful that they're still here with me today. And in closing, victim impact has taught me that I didn't just hurt the victim. I hurt the community. Because when you hear down the street someone has committed a crime in your neighborhood, it affects the community. And I apologize to the community. And if I have a chance, I will rebuild. I will go out and I will do my part. There's the park program that I'm coming up with. And just as now that I'm helping children here, I would like to go and speak with at-risk youth and help them. If I can just convince them that the road you're leading down will lead you to destruction, that my testimony will be worth it. Once again, to my victim, I'm sorry. I apologize. I should have never, ever, ever did that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. We appreciate those words. Thank you very much. Warden, what kind of fellow has he been since you've known him?
Nicholas is doing pretty good. He's currently working in the canteen as a canteen all that, which that job there got to be selected by the security staff here. We carefully select the inmates that's working in that department. So he's doing pretty good. His last write-up he had was in 21. He hadn't had a write-up again since then. And he's currently actually enrolled, brother, he's backlogged into the anger management and living in balance. So overall, he's doing pretty good.
Okay. Let's see, maybe pull up the sheet here. Well, before we get to those that want to speak, I was reading your reasons for seeking this commutation, and it talks about that Mr. Piggott, who y'all robbed, correct?
Yes, sir.
You talk about the fact that he misidentified and he didn't really get robbed or something, and he filled out an affidavit and swore to it the DA was trying to set you up. And that was in 2024. Am I reading that right?
Yes, sir.
How did you change from all of a sudden you're innocent and the system has set you up to now this morning you have all this victim awareness and all that in less than 2 years? Tell me how your life is transformed.
Okay, sir. Well, we're dealing with crimes in the law and having attorneys and being advised of what to say and what not to say and how to present yourself to the courts. I had to follow basically what I was being told. And today, I wanted to speak to you from my heart. I wanted to be honest and upfront with you. And 2 years ago, I was taking advice from lawyers and counsel. And Mr. Paget, he did an affidavit. But you know, your victims, sometimes they want to help you when they feel victimized. And they feel that maybe something went wrong and that maybe it was their fault. But what I can say is this: it wasn't his fault. It was my decisions. It was me who made bad decisions. It was me who impacted these people's lives. And I take full accountability and responsibility for that today.
Okay. Well, we may want to get into some more questions about that in a little bit, but I'd like to hear from some folks that, one person in Zoom, Mr. Patrick Young, and I see Mr. Young on my Zoom camera. He wants to speak in your in your behalf. And then Joseph Cross, your father, wants to speak from headquarters. And then you also have Joshua Cross, who is at headquarters with your father, but he's not going to be speaking. So Mr. Young, would you start us off, and then we'll move to headquarters and talk to Patrick. We'll talk to Joseph Cross.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Patrick Young. Currently am the National Vice President of Workforce and Economic Development for Youth Advocate Programs. I oversee 33 states, DC, 4 countries. I also teach AI for nonprofit at Georgetown University. And I was also the former Director of Gun Violence Prevention in the city of New Orleans, where I'm proud to say we reduced violent crime by 40%. I start off with that because I met Nicholas when I was incarcerated. And since being incarcerated and being able to come home and change my life and impact the community and the work that I do, it's real important for me to also come back and to guide. I'm here because one of the things I feel that is needed is that coaching system in the community to welcome Nicholas back, where there is somebody that has been in that situation that can really coach, mentor, and guide, not only in the work aspect, but in the mental aspect of making the transition out of incarceration into really living in balance and what that really means. It's not something that you just have the pressures of making a success on your own. I'm here to advocate because when I met him, we met in Weldon actually, and just to grow and to see, the ideas and aspirations that he has, I feel that I'm one of those examples where I can show you the way, I can guide you through the way, I can coach you through the way so that we can be a success, not only inside, but outside in the community as well. Outside of the family pressure, outside of the pressure from the state, the community also has to do its part and step up and be supportive. And so that's why I'm here as a representative of the community to really get behind somebody who I feel has all of the ability, like he said, to work with these kids, to be better examples, because we need more examples. We need people who have made remorse, who are honest enough to tell the truth, and to also to execute that on a day-by-day basis. I was given a chance and I was given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful and grateful that I have a chance to do the same for somebody else. This is not an opportunity I take lightly. My time, my mentorship, it comes with a lot of responsibility. In the same way, if you were in the military, there's a drill sergeant and they want to see you succeed. If you go to work, there's your supervisor. There is somebody, if you play sports, there's a coach. There's somebody there that makes sure that it's not just, you're not in this alone, but there is somebody there that really cares and really can support the transition. This is not an easy situation dealing with our state, dealing with our cities, and dealing with our kids. So to have someone that's been in that situation to come home and do well and have the opportunity to coach and advise someone else, I greatly take that responsibility, and I hope that you take that in consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Young. We appreciate those words and appreciate the work that you do. Okay, we'll move to headquarters. Mr. Joseph Cross, who is the father of Nicholas Toliver. Mr. Cross, are you there at headquarters?
Step up to the podium, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Give you this, I'll go back to it.
Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Cross, and I'm here to represent my son. I'm a little nervous. I've never did this before. I am a pastor in Hammond, United Pentecostal Church of God in Christ. I've been pastoring about 20 years. What can I say about my son? My son well, his mother was pregnant when I was about 21, 22. I never had a chance to be a father to my son. His mother kept him away from me for years. He's never really been in my life. I kind of knew he was my son, and I kind of didn't. I do have one son. I have a couple of funeral homes, one in Angie, one in Hammond, and one in Kentwood. I have 3 funeral homes. I have a couple of hotels, and I probably own over 100 pieces of property. But she never wanted me to have anything to do with my son. So he's been out of my life for many years. So now, since I've had built a relationship with him, since he's been incarcerated, I've seen a significant change in him. I do have many jobs that he can do, but also by being a pastor and in the community, as he works so well with different situations with kids or whatever he's doing. And I would love to have him home. I think, and I know pretty much in my mind, he has changed his life. It's just the only thing I can say, if you feel in your heart that you would give him another chance, I believe 100% that he will do better. I'd like to send him back to school to work maybe in mortician or even at my church, or even into being a licensed operator and getting his contractor's license. I had many different businesses, and like I say, I never had a chance to father this young man. And I know I can't really father him because he's a man now, but I can give him an opportunity that he never had. He never had. And I don't know a lot about him, but I've been married now 35 years, and my wife and my son, it would just be so much added to the family. And I don't want to start crying, but I just really would love to see him be successful this time and change his life, which he said he has. So he has all the opportunities, he has all the different things that he needs to be a successful person this time. So I just hope and pray that you look at what I had to offer him And there's so many things that I do. A place to stay, business, jobs opportunity, but most of all, I really would like to see him saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. And I don't want to stop preaching. But that's where I'm at. You know, I don't want to say too much. I think I've said enough. And I believe 100% that he has changed. So, old people say the ball is in your hands. I thank you for your time. God bless you, and you have a great day.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your words, and thank you, sir. And of course, Joshua Cross is there also. And he's at headquarters, but he will not be speaking. Okay, we'll go back to you, Mr. Toliver, and I'll be through with my questions in just a minute, and the board can finish up with theirs, and then we'll vote. Let me go back to what I was beginning to question you on before, and I'm a little bit concerned about it. Why is it in 24 you signed something that wasn't true, talking about your reform and all of this business, and now you come up and you tell us, you know, that it wasn't, that what you had signed was an affidavit saying you wasn't true. So tell me about that again. Make me feel comfortable that you hadn't been growing now for 10 years, or that you have been growing for 10 years rather than just a year or year and a half.
Yes, sir. Like I said, when filling out the application for clemency, I was doing so under counsel. And my counsel was advising me what to say and what not to say. I wanted to talk to the district attorney from day one. I wanted to tell the truth from day one, but I was advised by my legal counsel what to say and what not to say. And I know that it's not an excuse, because I should have been man enough to say what I needed to say. I should have been man enough to tell the truth, and I wasn't. I was a boy, I was scared, and I was following my legal counsel. Today I'm here, sir. I'm here, sir, and I promise you, I have so much remorse in my heart for that night. I have so much remorse for what I did. And I'm taking accountability, and I'm telling you that I'm sorry, and I never should have did that. I never should have did that, sir.
Okay. Well, I believe you're remorseful for the armed robbery. I think you're remorseful for having lied on that application under the advice of your attorney. But I'm just bothered by it, and I just wanted to be upfront with you on that. Madam Chairman, that's all the questions I had.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have some questions. You said earlier you were angry with your parent.
Yes, sir.
Growing up, tell me about that.
Well, sir, like my father was saying, I was coming up, and I was in the streets of New Orleans, and I really didn't have nobody, and I wanted him. And you know, my family, they didn't want me around, and it's just that I started lashing out. I started acting out, and then the men that did take me under their wing, it was negative men. They showed me negative things. And this is how I was influenced. And it's not an excuse, because we all have choices. And I made that choice to hang out with these guys and to do wrong.
I see. Warden, how long has he been there with you?
He got here in 22.
22. Where were you incarcerated before there?
Louisiana State Penitentiary.
Okay, yeah. What do you plan to do if released?
If released, I'm gonna go straight to work with my father. I'm gonna go straight to work with my father. I plan on, I always loved real estate. I always did. I plan on working, helping out the family. But my main goal and what I have a passion for, I came up with the park program. It's preventing at-risk kids. And what it does is it reaches out to the detention centers, the alternative schools, and I want to be able to speak to them. I want to be able to let them know that, you know, you messing up right now. Something someone didn't do for me when I made my first mistake. You know, sometimes you can make a first mistake and get a slap on the wrist. And then you need someone to guide you. You need to get back in society. You need to get back on track. And these kids will make a mistake in these detention centers or these group homes, and they need the organization there to guide them. And this is my goal. I know that I can change some people's lives. I know I can impact others. I know I can.
Said, I see that you've really put forth an effort to do better, and I appreciate that. And I want to commend you, and I hope you continue to do that. And we need people like that to help train these kids. I have no more questions.
Mr. Toliver, you submitted your clemency application, and as Mr. Prater said, in December of 24. Who helped you fill out that application?
Okay, at that time, it was Miss Yolanda Oates. She was with the NAACP. She was an attorney that helped me get the clemency form. And she advised me based off of the evidence that was presented at my trial, based off of the statements Mr. Kenneth had made. She advised me not to say certain things in the application.
Thank you. All right, I will say for the record, I think you've not had any write-up since you've been at that facility. The last one I saw was in 2021 for the fines.
Correct.
That's correct?
Correct.
There is opposition in the record, of course, by the Attorney General's office and the District Attorney's office. And I do know you are a habitual, or you were billed as a habitual offender. You have a prior conviction for armed robbery. Did you do any time on that conviction?
Yes, ma'am.
How much?
8 years.
Of a 10-year sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
What were the circumstances then?
I was young. I was in the streets. I was doing wrong, ma'am. I was doing wrong.
And you've been in jail how long? Let's see. Yes, that I didn't write anything on.
I got 10 years, 65 years sentence.
How long you been in jail?
Since 2013, I was convicted in 2015, so almost about 13 years.
13 years. Okay. All right. I don't see any other questions.
That's 13 years plus the 8. But he said he was an 8
before.
Prior,
Yeah.
That's 13 plus 8.
All right. I don't see any other questions. Mr. Prater, you ready to vote?
My vote is to deny this request due to the fact that a application for commutation is much like a job application. And this part is where the job interview is. And if going over your application in the interview, I come across something that is just a blatant lie, I wouldn't hire you. And that's my job now, is because we're basing somebody that's committed 2 violent crimes and we're considering releasing them back to the public without having served his sentence. And so having seen this application and the blatant lie that it is, although you're doing great now, and I liked your interview, everything you said is good, but I think that starting with that application that you filled out starts you afresh in my mind, and you got to start over and earn my trust. And at this point, you don't have that. I wish you luck, and I think you're on the right course, and I think you got a lot of potential, and your dad's gonna be right there with you. And your dad loves you and you love him, but you gotta pay the price for having lied in this application too. So my vote is to deny.
Mr. Freeman?
Law enforcement opposition, and he's only served 13 of a 65-year sentence. My vote is to deny.
Mr. Tillis?
My vote's going to be to grant commutation of sentence. I think you have made some serious changes in your life, and you seem sincere, and I don't think you'll be a threat. I think you'll be an asset. So keep your nose clean, stay straight.
Mrs. Stanton?
I agree with Mr. Freeman and Mr. Tillis. Mr. Prater. 13 years of a 65-year sentence, law enforcement opposition, and the application had some problems with it. So maybe next time just put your truth down.
Yeah, Mr. Toliver, my hangup is the fact that you are classified as a third offender. And you claimed innocence in your application. You're telling us a totally different story today. I do believe agree with Mr. Prater is that you got to earn our trust. I believe everything you said here today, but this was only less than 2 years ago where you had a different story. So, and you do have a parole eligibility date already, which is the only relief I would have granted. So today, sir, your application for clemency has been denied, but stay the course. You'll have an opportunity to reapply. And you know what to do on your application next time. Good luck.
All right, good luck to you. All right. Thank y'all for your time.
All the cases.
All right, good afternoon. We have before us now Mr. Derek Shasson. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Do you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and your current mailing address for the record, sir.
Name is Derek Shasson. I currently live in Albany, Louisiana at 31705 Crane Road,
What's your zip code?
70711.
Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Chasson, you were, let me acknowledge we have some folks who have joined us today. We have with you, I believe, is Mr. Thompson, your neighbor. He wants to speak on your behalf. And we also have from the District Attorney's Office in Jefferson Parish, Mr. Randall Meyer, who will be asked to speak also. So let me just read some identifying information, Mr. Chasson, then I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Tillis, seated to my right. Your case has been assigned to him. And you will see that we do have two board members who are participating virtually today. We have Mr. Pete Freeman and Mr. Steve Prater, who are should be on your Zoom screen as well. So, Mr. Chasson, you are classified as a second felony offender. You are seeking a pardon with restoration of firearms. You are sentenced in Jefferson Parish. Let's see, November 1995 for theft and simple burglary. You received a 2-year DOC sentence. That sentence was suspended. You were placed on 2 years probation. That was revoked in December 1996. Is that information correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Tillis.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Today?
I am great. This has been a long-awaited moment.
Well, tell us what happened to you and what caused you to be with these charges, and why do you feel that we should vote in your favor today?
Well, back 25 plus years ago, actually, I think it's a little over 30, or right at 30, I had started drug use, you know, smoking marijuana and drinking or whatever. When I was like 14 years old, 15 years old, drinking was a big thing in the family, crawfish balls, all that. Anyway, I was hanging out at a young age, hanging out with the wrong crowd. And anyway, the charge in Louisiana was a family dispute. I was doing some work for my cousin's husband. He had a used car lot and was paying me cash money every week. But every week he'd come up with an excuse, you know, I might have worked $600. Man, look, I got $300 now. I'll pay you when I sell a car. And after about 3 or 4 weeks, he owed me upwards of $800-900. And of course, I was out drinking that weekend, and I got fed up, and I said, you know what, I'm going. So, and I went and obtained tools from the job, from the place, the car lot, and then was later arrested that morning. My cousin's father, my uncle, knew the gentleman very well and told him that, you know, he needs to drop the charges because he knew he owed me the money. And he said, no, he needs to be taught a lesson or whatever. So he was later no longer affiliated with the family. And but since then, after I served my time, and I know I am a 2-time convicted. During my probation period, before I got revoked for dirty urinalysis, I was affiliated with some people in Texas and got caught with possession of stolen property, but not turning anybody in. You got me, you know, I just took the charge and went on about whatever. And but since then, after I paroled out, I had married to a young lady. We had a son. He's 26. He'll be 26 next month. We were married 5 years, and we got a divorce because I worked different states along the Gulf Coast. I was a superintendent in a shipyard doing ship interiors. And so the distance played a big thing in our relationship, and we filed a divorce before my son was 1 year old, right at his first birthday. Now today, about 8, 9 months ago, me and his mother have reconvened, been talking, and she is now a level 1 trauma ER doctor in Shreveport, Louisiana, completing her residency, and we're going to be getting remarried. I know that sounds kind of funny, but we love each other. I have been sober since date of release. I've never been in trouble. I've worked for a couple different companies for the first few years of being released. Then got laid off after the 9/11 attacks. I was working for a shipyard over Ingalls Shipyard. I was a foreman out there, building a cruise ship. Got laid off from there, and I said, you know what? I'll never be laid off again. Started my own business, came back home to New Orleans on the West Bank, lived with my parents, started my business, and I'm now a home remodeler, built a couple spec homes. I'm in the process of getting my Louisiana contractor license to start building multiple homes per year. Have up until about 2 years ago, I employed upwards of 6, 7, 8 people at a time. Right after Katrina, I had 30 employees working for me, but that become too much. But anyway, I'm here as a, 30 years sober ever since, and no trouble since then. Done all my restitutions, all my everything.
Okay, that's good. You have someone speaking on your behalf, a neighbor.
Correct.
Mr. Thompson. Is he on the?
Yes, he's here.
I'm Louis Thompson. I'm Derek Shasson's neighbor. I met Derek approximately 18 years ago when he moved to this area. Found him to be a very conscientious person, helpful in the community. Over the years, I've seen a person who will go out of his way to help others, other neighbors. We live in a very rural area, so neighbors may be a quarter to a half a mile away. I've been very impressed with Derek's work ethic, the quality of work that he does. And in conversations we had, he had mentioned that as a youth, he had gotten into trouble. It surprised me. It seemed really out of character for him. And I've never had any time that Derek was not an impressive member of society. I've seen him stop and help elderly people, help other neighbors, and person of impeccable character.
Thank you so much for your comment. We have some people or a person who is on the other side of the table. Mr. Randall Myers.
Good morning, Randall Myers. Afternoon, Randall Myers, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. We have as the board knows, we have a general rule of a 10-year cleansing period from the time someone finishes their crime until they're requesting a pardon. And Mr. Chasson meets that 10-year period fairly easily. The issue I have with him, though, is he said in his application, and in the clemency report, it restates what he says in his application, which is been clean and free from any additional arrests since my release. He said he served his time and got clean. And he basically said the same thing here today. However, in 2001, he was arrested for DWI, which pled guilty, in which he completed the sentence in June of 2002. And in 2003, sentenced to 1 year probation for a misdemeanor theft conviction in Alabama. I didn't hear him say anything about those offenses. I was really wanting to hear, that maybe there was a mistake in his clemency application. But to me, it seems like he wasn't being truthful there, and that concerns me. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and still defer to the board. Y'all do whatever y'all see as appropriate, as of course y'all always do. I'm torn though, because this is a very tough one. It's been 20 something years since he had this, or 30 years since he's had this conviction. And doesn't appear that he's had anything since the 2003 theft conviction. So I guess the bottom line is we'll take no position, but it will rely on whatever the board determines is appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. Are there any other questions from our board members?
Yeah, Mr. Chasson, would you like to address what Mr. Myers just said, please?
Yes, ma'am. I completely forgot about that. I paid it. What had happened? I wrote a bad business check. I had a small relapse after me and my wife had divorced because I had achieved so much in life. I had never dealt with life on life's terms before, and I had an instant reaction. Wrote a bad business check. I paid the restitution in full when I went to court, and I apologize. I completely forgot about that. The DWI was in 2001. That was in Texas. I forgot about that. I did call them to get all the paperwork and information when I was in the application, and that was in down in it's a little small town down near Corpus Christi, and I asked them to for all the paperwork, and they said, "Sir, Mr. Shasson, back then that was before we had computers or something like that in their little town, and that they would have to go rummage through warehouse storage to find my paperwork, and it may take them months, and they have no record of it. So that's why it was never mentioned."
Oh, so you did really remember it. You did try to check up on it.
Well, yes.
The information.
Well, no, I mean, it's, I remembered it, and I called them and spoke with them several times, and they says, "We have no record of it. We can't find any record of it. We would have to go in and get," because it was computers. I don't know. That's what they were telling me.
Okay.
That's what they were telling me. But they did, I want to say I submitted with the application a letter from them stating that they had no records of it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions? I don't see any other questions. I think we're ready to vote. Mr. Tillis.
My vote today is going to be to grant with firearms commutations. Pardon.
Mrs. Stapleton.
Mine's gonna be the same. Even had you remembered it, it would have still been so long ago, it wouldn't have counted, it would have been okay. So mine is to grant with firearms also.
Mr. Prater.
I concur with that, grant with firearms.
Mr. Freeman.
I concur.
And as do I. So Mr. Shasson, on your behalf, we're going to make the recommendation for full pardon with restoration of firearms. Good luck to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all so much. Yes.
All right, good afternoon. We are ready for Mr. Barry Bennett. Mr. Bennett,
Yes.
introduce yourself. Tell us for the record, sir, tell us your name and current mailing address.
You're on mute.
Yeah, all right. My name is Barry Bennett Jr. My current address is 1010 Rue de la Riviere, Abbeville, Louisiana.
Tell us the zip.
70510.
All right, thank you. And you have counsel here on Zoom today. Mr. Alexander, would you introduce yourself for the record?
That's correct. Xavier Alexander, present on behalf of Mr. Barry Bennett.
Thank you. And we also have Mr. Bennett's sister, Stacy, who will be, we'll call on her shortly for her comments. So first, Mr. Bennett, I'm sure you've been watching, so you know how this works today. I'm going to read some identifying information into the record. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Tillis. Your case has been assigned to him, and then we'll hear from everybody who wants to speak. So, Mr. Bennett, you were here today seeking a pardon with restoration of firearms. You were sentenced in Iberia Parish, December 2009, for a misdemeanor offense, domestic abuse battery. You received a 90-day sentence that was suspended, and you were placed on 1-year misdemeanor probation. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Tillis.
Mr. Bennett, how you doing?
I'm all right, sir.
Tell us what happened and what caused you to be here today.
Yeah, on that date of the incident, me and my then girlfriend, which is now my wife, we got into a verbal argument, which led to me, putting my hands on her and putting her out the house physically that we were staying in at the time. Since then, I completed the programs that were, there for me to complete, like anger management, community service, and whatnot. Yeah, that was the incident. It was a short and quick incident that happened. But I can't say, I feel very, remorseful for the thing that I did at the time, and definitely look at my wife and my kids as a prize that,
Thank you so much.
priceless.
You have an attorney here. Well, let's hear from your sister. Is your sister on Zoom?
Yes. Hello, my name is Stacy Stewart, Bennett Stewart. I'm just here to support my little brother, and to just attest to the fact that he has made significant changes. He is a family guy. He put together community activities where him and his family are all involved with those activities, and I've seen him grow significantly. They just purchased him a home. He done started his own business. So I'm proud of him as a sister, and I'm proud to see the progress that he's made.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your comment. We'd like to hear now from his attorney, Mr. Alexander.
Yes, yes. And I think that, to begin the hearing, and also good afternoon to the members of the board, but to begin the hearing, I think there was a sufficient layout of the date of the incident, and that it happened in 2009. And it's my understanding that he did complete everything, terminated satisfactorily. But since then, the board should be aware that they have been married for over 15 years, and they do have 2 children. And not only have they been married, they have worked professionally together for over 15 years. They started a business. They do non-emergency medical transportation together as a couple for over 15 years. That business is still active. They have over 5 or 6 employees that work for them on a daily. They are both 50-50 partners, and they actively engage in this business. They have a daughter who just became a barber that graduated school, and they also have a daughter that's in the home with them. So they are life partners that have been together since this incident, and they have, like most couples, I'm sure, had things that they have gone up and down with, but they have actively lived together, been together, and they have been a family together. Also, that he has been very active in the community, and I know his sister did point that out, but he's been publicly recognized in the local news for a lot of the activities he has done. He's moved to Abbeville. They built a new home recently. Mr. Bennett went to the city council in Abbeville this year, I believe. I could be wrong on the date. And the city council approved a family event for him, and they had people from other states that attended the family event. And these are all kid events. These aren't adult events. These are RC car events, gel blaster events, and money that he's taken out of his pocket to do. He's involved in a trunk or treat in Iberia Parish. I mean, this is the purpose of being on probation, being rehabilitated, and continuing to work as a family. He's obviously remorseful. I've seen the couple together. They are really doing a great job together. So I think he's very deserving of what he's seeking today. And I mean, she says she's proud of him. I'm proud to see that type of behavior as well. So that's just my 2 cents on the issue.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it. Mr. Bennett.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm glad to see that you guys reconciled. Maybe some other members have some questions.
So why don't you say that there's no opposition in law enforcement. It's either no comment and one is unopposed. The prosecutor's unopposed in New Iberia. And I wanted to thank you for your community outreach. I see that it's with the homeless and other events. So I wanted to thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's all.
I see no other questions, so Mr. Tillis will ask for your vote.
My vote is to grant with firearms.
Mrs. Stapleton.
My vote is to grant with firearms.
Mr. Prager.
My vote is to grant with firearms.
Mr. Freeman.
Grant with firearms.
My vote also is to make the recommendation for a pardon with restoration of firearms. So, Mr. Bennett, on your behalf, we will make that recommendation.
I appreciate that. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much.
And we thank the members of the board as well.
Thank y'all.
We have two cases on the docket today. That's Pamela Barbee, 799-521, and KAYDI LECOMPTE, 552240. Both of those individuals failed to check in, so they are being removed from the docket today.
So we done?